I'm sorry. I have been selfish. I am so sorry. I have worked my whole life to be as selfless as possible. I currently work as a volunteer in the ER of my small town's hospital. It's not much work since it's a small hospital and I only have a few beds to watch over, but I like to help in any way I can. A few months ago, my brother was in a near-fatal car crash. It should have been fatal, like most that occur on the icy roads of our mountainside town, but I stopped it. The winter being the hospital's busy season, the beds of the ER were nearly full. We could not accommodate both drivers of this accident. Long story short, I switched some files so my brother could stay here while the other driver would be taken to the city hospital an hour away. My brother was put into a medically induced coma that night. The other driver died on the ambulance ride over. I was filled with guilt. This man had a family while my brother supported no one. I spent the night at my brother's side. By sunrise, I had fallen asleep in my chair. I was awoken a few hours later at sunset. Our days are quite short here during the dead of winter, by a sudden chill. Before me stood a woman draped in black. Her face was familiar, yet I was sure I had never met her. She motioned me forward with her hand. I followed her into the hall of the ER. In the fluorescent light, I could finally make out who she was. Her photo was found in the wallet of the deceased. She was his widow. She turned to face me. "Choose one," she ordered. I chuckled, asking her what she meant. "To live." The words tore through me, and I muttered my brother's name. She smiled and exited the ER. A week later, I arrived with the hospital in a state of panic. Somehow, a mix-up in the ER had caused medications to be delivered to the wrong patients. Most of the 5 were on their last breaths, but since my brother was still in a coma, he survived. The widow returned again at sunset, reciting the same lines as before. I again gave her my brother's name. Week after week she arrived, always the same. A week later, there was always some sort of catastrophe. My brother remained the only survivor. As guilty as I feel, though, those deaths are not my concern now. My concern now is that my kerosene heater exploded last night while I was out. My wife and daughters were just admitted to the ER. The widow came 6 days ago.